What's up, everyone? Today's day 9 of phase 3 of the Live Hard program. I just made my drive home. As you can tell, it's still light outside, which means I left work early. I was able to leave and get back here. It's currently 7:39 and I still have to read, but I woke up this morning at 3, got ready, went outside, did my first 45-minute workout, which was my outdoor ruck with my 25-pound weighted vest. I went about 2.25 miles, typical, walking through the dark, walking through like a gravel area and stuff, up and down hills, not very big hills, but still sort of. Back at home now, so tomorrow's workout I should be able to get 2.5 miles going up and down my street. It's flat, it's half a mile down, half a mile back, and I'll be back doing it in the middle of the day. After my workout, I basically got ready for work, got my breakfast, I took my cold shower and my picture before I went to work. I went to work till about 12:30. Nothing was going on. I had to work on my truck a little bit. If you've watched the last few videos, I was very concerned about my truck making it home, but I made it. This is gonna be a funny story. So 2 things. I'll save one of them for a little bit, but one of them, I was worried about my truck and I was focused on that, and I stopped to go to the bathroom before I normally stop, like at the exit that I normally stop at, and I didn't have my GPS set, so I missed the exit that I normally take, and I ended up getting pulled over like 6 miles before the next exit that it was showing me to take. And the reason for getting pulled over was because my taillights didn't have a reflector, or because they were tinted. Something, whatever. It's like, of all things, like abiding by the rules, and it's broad daylight. My lights were even on just so you could make sure that you could see them. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that right now. But one of the things that dealt with that was I talked to a stranger that way because I didn't know the guy, but I did end up getting to tell him about the Live Hard program and that I was doing it. So that's why I was trying to get home and go to sleep, basically. And then he saw my hat, which is the bison hat, the original Rio AF hat. And I told him I was on the podcast for winning the contest. And basically I just got 2 warnings, so I'm not completely complaining, but of all things, of all people, there's a lot of other more serious things going on the roads. I can understand if it was at night and you couldn't see, or I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to get into that, like I said. But I got that done, made it back into town, and when I stopped back in town, I went to the dollar store to get a few things. And literally as I was walking out after I paid, there was 2 registers. Dollar stores are usually pretty small, you know. They only had 2 checkouts, and this woman was standing at the other one, and she had been there before I even pulled up or walked up to the one I was at. I checked out and I was done, and I was walking past, and I could tell that there was a little bit of a line behind her, and that she was having issues basically with her card. So I paid for her items, which was only $34, and that ended that, so she could get out of there and not be embarrassed. And that was my random act of kindness for the day. But mostly just glad that I made it home without breaking down. I got most of the parts in for my truck to work on. I'll probably do that either later, tomorrow, I think probably Thursday, because I have the brakes are coming on Thursday. So definitely gonna do it when it's cooler outside, probably in the morning time, but we'll see. I just know I need to get it done. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, let's see, other than all the things, I feel good. I'm like happy that I'm home. So the last few days, if you watched the videos, I've been complaining basically, and I hated being where I was, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, I guess all that complaining paid off in the universe space, because I got called to go to a job an hour and a half from my house. I've been working 6.5 hours from my house and doing that for the last 7 months. And the company I normally worked for is in Oklahoma, and they had just been slow throughout this whole year. That's the only reason I went to where I was. I always avoid going to that area that I was in I cannot stand it. As you can tell from the last few videos, I was sick of it. So basically, I'm not going to West Texas anymore. The guy that called me said that we should be busy. He's scheduled out through the rest of the year, which it's already August, so whatever. But the main thing that I was looking for when it came to switching companies was it needed to be consistent, because even though I didn't like going and doing what I was doing, it was consistent. It was 7 days on, 7 days off. I didn't have to stress. I knew I was getting paid, because typically when I'm on these jobs as a contractor, it's job to job. Sometimes I might have a month. One time I was off for 3 months just because it was like, I believe the beginning of 2023 maybe. Anyways, so that was stressful towards the end of it, just because I was like, what the heck? And I mean, anyways, it's supposed to be busy. And with that, I start a job Sunday, an hour and a half away. It's currently Tuesday, so I have a few days off to get my truck fixed and get everything situated. I will be, it's a little bit less money, but like, I don't even care at this point. It'll end up being more money ultimately, because I won't be just working 7 days on, 7 days off. So if I spread it out through the month, it's honestly like $6,000 more a month, but I'll just be working every day, which is fine, because school's starting. I'm not going to be going on any trips unless it's like by myself or whatever, like I just did 2 weeks ago. And when I went to Vegas, where I was on day 1 of this phase. But man, what such a better mood just not being there. And then that leads me to what I was going to talk about, and I've talked about it plenty of times. It's like I was doing what I said not to do. I was stressing about stuff that I couldn't play or control, so to speak. So all of a sudden, just like every time, it always works out. I put out enough energy of not wanting to be where I was. Like I'd say it on here, but that's not even exactly how I felt about it. I was way more tired of it than what I was leading on, and I was leading on a lot, if you've watched the last 3 days or so. So very happy about that, and it just proves my point over and over. There's been times, especially even during the 75 hard videos, around day 28 to 32, somewhere in there, I was on a job that I got released from because of the people that I was working with weren't doing their jobs, but they were company employees and I was the contractor. So they had to get rid of somebody because the oil company wanted them to, because of the things that happened, which weren't even that big of a deal. But they got to make a statement with that. So I was gone. I was kind of disappointed about that, which still not, because I was just going to finish that job and never work for that guy again. Was already ready to leave that job. And then like the next day I got put on a better job, a little bit closer to home, way better job for the company I normally work for in Oklahoma. So it's just over and over, all these times where we're going through life and we think that the situation can't get any worse, and then we can't stand dealing with what we're dealing with, and then it always has a breakthrough. There's always something that happens. There's always a change in direction that comes through. So like I said, even though I'm preaching it about not stressing about the things that you're not in control of, I need to work on that too. So just another example of how things always work out. And if you're doing the things that you need to be doing, and you're leading the example and you're doing the best you can, it's going to shine in other areas where other people are going to see you and recognize you and give you the opportunities that they're not going to give other people. And I've earned that, being able to jump around to these different companies and get these good jobs, because these jobs pay pretty good. That job I was just on was paying $850 a day, and this one's a little bit less that I'm going on, but like I said, it will be more since I'll be working more, which is fine. Like I said, I'm fine with that. I was ready to looking forward to going back to that. It's still basically mostly like by myself. I think I'll be working with 1 or 2 other people on my shift, and we're opening up 3 wells. So we'll all have 1 well to monitor the separator to monitor and make sure it's separating the oil and gas and water, and then taking reports numbers each hour and then typing it into a computer on a spreadsheet, Excel. Very simple. It's easy. You just write the numbers each hour throughout the day. At the end of the shift, you put them in the computer, forward it to the next guy that's coming on. That just keeps adding more to it, and then the same thing. Everybody just adds to it, and if it's only one well each, it's simple. Hopefully I'll be on nights. I'm not sure yet. I think it might actually start on Saturday. So like I said, I'll have a few days to get some things done. I'll probably go do something with Mackenzie one night or one whole day, maybe Thursday or so. But yeah, way better mood if you can't tell. Even though I got pulled over, which didn't really matter, but it was still an inconvenience. And that was stressful because you never know. But always act respectful and do what you're supposed to do and show your hands and not look like you're doing something weird. So I didn't get questioned about anything like that, but yeah, looking forward to that. Tomorrow I'm gonna mow my yard whenever I wake up after I do my first workout and get the day going. So that's all I got for today. Don't always think that people that you look up to are doing everything perfect, because obviously I just wasn't, and you saw that and I shared it, but the breakthrough came anyways. So try to stay positive and know that the good things are going to come as long as you keep staying on your path and doing the work. All right, I'll be back tomorrow for day 10. Peace.